Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. I hope you've prepared yourself for a new round of great stories on this topic. And today you'll find out what can happen if someone interferes with airport staff. You aren't going anywhere now. I work as a fueler at a major airport. We're contracted out, so while I don't necessarily work for one airline, let's say I almost exclusively fuel 737s. I sometimes go up to the terminal to print out schedules since airlines constantly switch gates and delay flights, so I need to be on top of that. I have customers come up and ask questions, even though I'm dressed nothing like any of the customer service agents, but I'm generally willing to answer them or direct them to someone who can help. This one day, I see a lady in her late 40s with a large floppy purse and a plastic bag from one of those overpriced boutiques at the airport, absolutely filled with crap. She's calm and honestly quite beautiful for a woman nearly twice my age. She pulls out one of her earbuds and walks up to me. Lady, do you know what gate the flight to XXX is going out of? Me, yeah, it got moved to gate 7. It's landing in about 10 minutes, so you might want to head over there. Lady, what? How the hell am I supposed to keep up with that? Me, tell me about it. They usually announce it over the intercom. Lady, in a huff, well, you need to help me move my bags over there. I look over, and apparently she has another carry-on next to a kid, maybe 8 years old, who also has his little Transformers carry-on. As much as I'd like to help, I cannot touch a passenger's bag, and I have to get back down to the ramp. Me, sorry, I don't work for this airline. If you go to customer service over there, I'm sure they can help you out. Lady, I don't want to stand in that line. It was like 2 people. I'm ordering you to do it. At this point, I had enough. I helped this lady the best I could. Now I had other stuff to do, so I headed for the stairway to the ramp. I scanned my badge and was about to shut the door when this lady runs up behind me, leaving her kid and bags behind, and holds the door open, yelling, Lady, stay right where you are. Don't you walk away from me when I'm talking to you. So I complied, waited about 15 seconds for the alarm to go off. At that point, 2 TSA agents ran up to see what was going on. TSA, why did the alarm go off? Me, this lady tried to follow me down to the ramp. TSA, writing my badge number down, we'll take it from here, looking at the now in shock lady, come with us. So now I feel bad for the lady. Traveling stress makes people do weird stuff. Hopefully she was able to make her flight, but knowing how seriously they take an accidental alarm, I doubt it. I don't mess with the TSA because they do a very good job of wasting your time. Traveling stress makes people do weird stuff. Sometimes it seems they leave their brains at the airport door. And our second story, entitled Woman at Universal Studios. I'm a 24-year-old female working in Osaka, Japan. Naoko, a work friend, invited me to Universal Studios Japan. I agreed because they have owls. Live, adorable, real owls at their Harry Potter adventure, which the United States does not have. Naoko is nervous to go see them because she doesn't like big birds. I want to go, so I'm asking her nicely to come with or wait for me to see them. While we are discussing this, someone taps me on the shoulder. I turn around and see a well-dressed mother and her 11-year-old daughter. They look pretty normal. The mother, Karen, is wearing a Harry Potter shirt, carrying several bags, and looking lost. Her daughter is begging to go on a ride. Karen pulls out a map and says, Hey, you speak English? I can't figure out where whatever ride is. I point in the general direction we came from. I tell her I do. We just came from the ride over there. Karen taps the map with a perfectly manicured talon. But where specifically? Naoko pops in because she is the most helpful person in the world. I'm not being sarcastic. She is wonderful. You have a pen? She asks me, miming drawing on the map. I always have pens on me, I tell her. Here, if you want, she'll circle it for you. Karen looks like I threatened to carve out her child's eyes and feed it to Izanami for breakfast. She jerks the sacred map to her chest and tells me, Do not touch our map. Just take us there. Naoko, like the little kid from The Sixth Sense, just whispers dramatically, We see owls. I can see how annoyed Karen is getting. I'm very thankful that Karen has made Naoko more interested in seeing the majestic sky cats. Anything, I think, is better than being around Karen. So I tell Karen that, unfortunately, the Fs have left the building and they will not return this season due to budget cuts in the F account. I tell her, politely as I can, we're going to see the owls. Just ask one of the workers. We found a couple of people who speak really good English. Naoko and I are off to see the wizard, and Karen says loudly, "Just take us to the ride." Me, "Nope, we have to go now." Karen, "My daughter is going to be really upset if we don't get to the ride before closing." Me, "Talk to an employee, ma'am. I'm not a tour guide." Karen, "But you're American." Me, "So? I live here now." Karen, "So you should help me." Me, "No thanks. Have a nice day." Karen then turns to her daughter and tells her that I am not going to show them where the ride is, so they won't be able to do it before Daddy finds them. This 11-year-old girl proceeds to fall onto the ground and starts sobbing. Karen, "Don't make a scene!" Freaking out. So this girl's throwing an absolute silent fit, pounding on the ground with her hands, all while not making any noise. Naoko and I decide we're going to leave. Karen's just standing there while we leave, telling her daughter we ruined the day, instead, of asking these super bilingual employees. It was so weird. That girl was probably crying because she had to be alone with that Karen. And our third story. I swear, I'm not the apartment manager. This happened quite a few years ago, but another post on the sub made me remember it. I used to live in an apartment complex that had multiple buildings on the same street. The building had a foyer that anyone could enter from the outside, but you had to be buzzed in from a wall phone in one of the apartments to actually get into the building. I was in apartment number 19. The apartment manager was in the building next door, also in apartment number 19. There was a sign hanging in the foyer indicating how to get a hold of the manager, but unsurprisingly, people only skimmed over reading it and would call my apartment instead of going next door. The sign was very clear that the manager was not in this building. People are just bad at reading. A little irritating, but generally not a big deal. Except for this one time. I was sleeping. It was 1 a.m. and the wall phone rang. I definitely wasn't expecting anyone. Me, "Hello?" Him, "I'm here for my appointment." Me, "If you're looking for the apartment manager, you need to go to the building next door." Him, "No, we scheduled our appointment for this morning." Me, "I'm not the apartment manager. You need to go next door." Him, "I came all the way out here. I want to see this apartment." Me, "Go next door. Call apartment 19 in that building. I'm not the apartment manager. I can't help you." And I hung up. Of course, he called again. Me, "What now?" Him, "I just want to see the apartment. Is it available or not?" Me, "I am not the manager. You need to go next door." Him, "Well, the sign here says you're the manager." Me, "The sign says that the manager is in the building next door." He starts mumbling as he reads the sign out loud to himself. I hang up the phone again. Of course, he calls back. Me, "Jesus Christ, what now?" Him, "It says the apartment manager's in number 19. Me, "It says they're in number 19 in the building next door. Go over there." Him, "But how do I get there?" Me, "Walk. It's literally next door." Him, "Can you call a cab for me?" Me, "No, I'm not calling you a cab to take you to the building next door. Stop calling my apartment." He tried calling again, twice. I stopped answering the phone. I have no idea if he ever found his way next door or not. The most baffling bit isn't even that he wanted a cab to go next door, it's that he expected me to call the cab for him. That was definitely the most mind-boggling part of the whole interaction. I don't work here, lady, but I'll teach you about the joy of painting. I'll keep it pretty short, but I have some good memories of my favorite local fine art supply store. Besides working digitally on my tablet monitor, I still occasionally work with ink and watercolor. I don't usually take commissions for traditional art since it can be more costly with shipping, supplies, etc., so I don't get out to the shop downtown often. I ran out of some shellac inks and needed to restock illustration boards for Inktober, which merited a trip. I also had a good friend of mine, now roommate, visiting from the other side of the country. We both enjoy art and decided to go together. It's a smaller shop and there's no formal uniform, just a name tag that the staff wears. Most of their staff are younger since there are 3 colleges close by. I'm in my late 20s with a young face, went to university for art, and generally know my stuff, so I'm a big IDWHL target there. I also know the store well, so I don't mind pointing things out. Both of us are in the store, down one of their drawing media aisles, and I'm explaining a few of my media choices to my friend. She's still learning, so she asked me a lot of questions. We've fallen into a rhythm with it. She went to go look at some Prismacolor pencils, and a sweet older lady timidly shuffled up to me, quietly asking if the paints she has are good for beginners. I take a look at the paints. They're all pricey, professional quality oil paints. I didn't see any mineral spirits or terpenoid on her either. I ask her a few questions about what subject she's interested in, if she's worked with oil paints before, etc. She's brand new to all of it and hasn't done much since she was a kid, but she wants to learn how to paint landscapes. It's one of her bucket list items. So we spent the next half hour or so going through the store. She got a set of student acrylic paints with a good pigment base, not cheap feeling, that are much easier to work with when starting out. She learned that canvas pads were a thing, and I helped her pick out some brushes and a palette. I also let her know that there are plenty of Bob Ross episodes online and helped her add the link to her home screen on her phone. I hadn't had much luck with finding a decent job as an art teacher since university, and I don't work in a creative field while I'm going back to school for architecture. But being able to share art with other people like this is very rewarding. I've seen her one other time since then in the store. She got some more paint, and we stopped to chat for a bit. I don't know if she knows I don't work there or not, but that's okay. My friend and I got a good chuckle out of it, and she didn't mind me being gone to help out. It still happens, and we both smile at it. Have never had a bad time at the art supply store yet. Not sure if that sweet old lady is on Reddit, but if so, I hope your paintings make you as happy as teaching you made me. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.